Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to migrate to use our ZList components to a small example components, for example, app that I have on my own. So same principle than the prior videos. I have this list of venues on the home screen. Here, clicking on one of the venue, I get the venue details with some animations. And with the idea is to be able to migrate. So this is a flat list using regular flat list, from Z flat list from ZStyle, but which is quite regular. And when I click here, I have this section list being used. So the idea will be to migrate from the flat and section list to the ZList component we have created together and see if we encounter any issues. This is basically a test that I'm going to make before to release the ZList component in the ZStyle library. Okay, so first of all, I'm going back to the ZList project here, and I'm going to import, to copy-paste the ZList components here to my component folder of the application, like so. So now I'm able to access to my ZList components. Great. Make some room. So let's make it a bit bigger. So now let's go first with the flat list. So if I go to my home component, which is this page here, this screen, here for now I'm using the Z flat list from React Native ZStyle. I'm going to instead import the list from my new components. Where is the folder? There you go. And the ZList is here. And I'm going to simply replace it, replace the flat list with it. If you go down here, so this is my whole component. And you can see here, so I have my Z flat list that I want to replace, like so. So this props is fine, I can keep it, the refreshing piece, refreshing state, on refresh that is reloading the data, scroll to top to avoid, to set to false to avoid when you click on the status bar here that the scroll list goes up to the top. My data entry extractor, my render item, like so, and that's basically it. So if I want to migrate my components, so basically I have first the data and key extractor to merge all together under a data prop that is using an array with the data itself and the key that I want to use for the key extractor here. That will be the ID of the item. So now I can get rid of these two properties here. And the render item here, that is just item with ZList. And I think that this should be good to go. So if I refresh now, so I get the exact same thing. If I scroll to the top, I'm able to refresh the data. Everything is working well. Now something that you're going to notice if I click here, it's still, yeah, so if I click this one, you see that I click the first one, but when the picture is going back to the second, so basically this is coming from, the issue is the index that I'm using here, that I basically don't render to the item. So here in the item, I expect to have an index property, but if you look at my ZList component, here in my render item, I don't take the index at all, and I'm not rendering it at all. So what I'm going to do here, simply doing the rest spread operator and add it to the component like so. Oh, sorry, some glasses here. Here you go. So this way, I know that now I'm passing the index to the item, and that here I'm now able to access an index props to properly get the right images in there. So Let's refresh the whole thing and see if it works better. So now I'm clicking this one, and the first image is going back to the right places. I click on this one, and the right image going back to the right places. So I think that's a fairly good migration. No much trouble here. And it's working pretty well, and it doesn't disturb the animation. So now for the second one, we are going to migrate the section list here to the ZList components, using the ZList components. So let's go to my the news screen here, where you see that I'm so first in the on component, so now I can get rid of the flat list, as I'm not using it anymore. Going to the new list, so for now I'm using the Z section list. So same, sorry, same. I'm going to use the list component. So this is a fairly complex component with a lot of animation going on here. When you open the venue, then going down here, here is my section list, so I'm just going to replace it like so. So in the ZList, you see I was in the section list, so I still don't manage this kind of props with ZStyle, like styling with only managing string of utilities. So as you can see, the content container style is just a standard props used with React Native section list. So you can just use it as far as I will spend some time at some point to review all the props of these components to make sure that all the style components are supported with the ZStyle like properties. But for now it's not the case, so I'm still using the content container style, just like you would use it for any section list. So now I'm going to replace the section list by the ZList component. This content container style won't change, this one won't change, this won't change. This is all to manage. The animations. List header component. So basically, this is not this is not the header. Sorry, if I go back to the list, sorry. Yes, it won't work. Let me go back to what it was before. Refresh. Yeah, so the list header component is basically what is. So I have an image that is overlaying the header of the section list. So the list header component is basically the section that is above, that I'm sizing to have the same size of the image above, to be able, and animating the size of it when I scroll on it to be smaller. But this is not the section header where you see the starters here or the salads here. So this is not everything at all. So this, I'm not going to touch it at all. I'm going to leave it as it is. So let's go back to the ZList. What I am interested in is this section header props, where now it should become section header. If you go back to the ZList component, this is the way that the props is called, section header. Like so. So this is now fine. Now I'm thinking, do I need to pass something else in there? If I go to the section header, I just pass it like that. Right, I think it should just be fine. Now I have these sections props, and so let me move this one up, just close to it, like so. So sections and a key extractor. So the section is basically the objects that are holding the data properties. So I need to merge this one under the data props of the ZList component with an array that is going to take the new dot menu and the ID for the key extractor, like so. So therefore I can get rid of this completely. And the item section, so same here, I'm not using the index at all, but what I believe is that what I need to do is as well to add the rest of the properties that could be passed to it. Pass it to the item just in case. Okay. So now I believe that we should be good to go. 60 session headers enabled. Yeah, the properties that I'm placing to it. Section header, item, data. And all these are standard properties for the section list or scroll list in general. So now let's refresh and see if everything is going up, if it's still working properly. Okay, fine. So no problem here, working perfectly, just like it used to be before. But this time, instead of using two separate components, we are using the single ZList component. Thank you for watching. In the next video, I believe that, so I'm going to get rid of this one. In the next video, I'm going to incorporate the ZList component into the ZStyle library that will be accessible in the version, in the next version of the library. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.